If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. John chapter 8, verse 36. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Galatians 5, verse 1. Welcome to the Encounter Life podcast. I am Pastor Kurt Richey, your host, and I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with us today. It is always my sincere hope that you will look back at day's end and believe that this was time well spent. Encounter Life is a ministry of Encounter Church located in beautiful North Central Florida. On behalf of Pastors Derek and Nicole West, I want to invite you to stop and visit Encounter Church anytime you are near Wildwood, the Villages, Florida. We are located just a few miles east of I-75. For more info, you can always reach us at encounterstudiosfl@gmail.com. Let me repeat it, encounterstudiosfl@gmail.com. We strive to respond to email requests within 24 hours. Now, sit back, relax, and let us encounter life together. One of the great struggles that has beset man since Adam and Eve walked in the garden is the matter of freedom. Many years ago, I wrote a message entitled, "From a Prison Cell to an Off-Grid Compound." The central theme I intended to point out was that we all live our lives somewhere along a line between these two extremes, and also to note the shift in personal responsibilities and workload that takes place. Very few live at the extremes. Most of us make a determination concerning our comfort zone in the matter of freedom. However, let no one be fooled. Total freedom, total independence is very hard work. It takes a level of commitment and diligence that few are willing to make. To live a life free from the law, free to live a completely independent life, there are no man-made rules to follow. The only rule is the law of nature, the rule of survival. On the other hand, life in a prison with virtually all freedoms removed requires very little of the inmate. All choices are made by others. The prisoner just follows the rules. Now, let's look at the rest of us, those that live somewhere between the cold cinder block walls of a prison and the harsh realities of wilderness survival. Mankind has always struggled for freedom, but something living deep inside our DNA demands that a fence be built. We all want freedom with fences. Some people prefer to surrender certain freedoms to the fences established by an HOA. Others wouldn't dream of living under the restrictions dictated by a committee of neighbors. Okay, are you ready for the shift? Some people thrive in apostolic Pentecostal holiness communities. These people are required to adhere to a long list of rules regulating their daily lives and behaviors. On the other end of the spectrum, perhaps the Universalist Unitarian Association might be a good example, holds that. Now, this is not a doctrinal statement, but I'm going to try to summarize the position. It is this: everybody has their own version of what the rules are, and we don't care what your rules are or how much your rules conflict with mine. We are all just going to love one another, to tolerate one another. You do you, and I'll do me. So, where are we? Well, The struggle is real. We seem to want some rules, but we also want to be free to do what we want. The Apostle Paul argued that we are no longer under the law. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm and do not submit again to the yoke of slavery to the law. But then he goes on to say, don't use your freedom to indulge in sin. Peter writes, live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. I want to shout at the apostles. So, fellows, are we free or not? Make up your minds. Thank God for James. James is my best friend in this matter. James gives me two remarkable descriptions of law. He calls one the royal law and the other the law of liberty. Hey, sign me up for that class. I think I can handle two laws. How about you? In James 1:25 and 2:12, he speaks about the law of liberty. Look at that. He brings together two seemingly conflicting ideas. He suggests that the law and liberty can coexist. Imagine that. In chapter 2, verse 8, he speaks of the royal law. This is, of course, the great commandment which Jesus established. Love others as you would love yourself. Let's now see how these two laws function in perfect complement to one another. The royal law of love is the heart of the matter. The law of liberty is the practical application. If the link holding these two together is broken, they will individually fail. However, when bound together, we have the perfect formula, the perfect combination of law and liberty. Speak and act as those who are going to be judged by the law that gives freedom. In chapter 2, he explains both laws. About the royal law of love, he says in verses 1 and 9 that favoritism, showing partiality, which of course flows from your heart, is the principal violation of the law. I would suggest that favoritism is the mother from which all violations of the royal law are born. And then, in verses 12 and 13, he explains the law of liberty. He establishes two pillars upon which the law of liberty is built: how we speak and how we act. He then qualifies both our words and actions with a standard of mercy, saying, mercy triumphs over judgment. The fence isn't you do you. The fence is love, expressed through merciful words and actions. The conclusion is so clear and simple, I'm not sure how I have missed it all these years. James goes on in chapter 2 and talks about faith being completed by our actions, by what we do. All of this work, carried out by faith, is nothing more than a fulfillment of the union of the laws of love and liberty. Please, I implore you, do not make it more complicated than that. If others want to spend their time debating this matter, calling for committee meetings and drafting rules, if some want to shout liberty from their isolated enclave in the Rocky Mountains, let them, my friends. The person that writes the rules can't follow them, and the man living in isolation has no opportunity to prove and test his faith. Both extremes are folly. Christian freedom isn't measured by how few rules govern me. It's measured by whether I am free to live the royal law of love through merciful words and actions. Read, understand, live, and uphold the laws of love and liberty. If you do this, you will do well for yourselves, for others, and most of all, for God. Thanks for taking time to listen today to the Encounter Life podcast. We love you and appreciate you so very much. I trust we have met our goal, that you have been blessed, inspired, and encouraged. I trust that you feel as though you have learned a helpful truth. May God now richly bless you. And always remember, one encounter with God can change everything.